Hey, all of you beautiful souls. It's been a little while since I've done a video, and today's question is how can you increase your sales? And, I went through corporate sales, and, I remember my first sales job was at T-Mobile or a cell phone store, right when it was just becoming the number one cell phone store or cell phone provider in the United States. It was moving towards number one. It was becoming number one. And I was a salesman, and I had the fortune, it was my first sales job, and I remember, those 5 months, I was not really trying very hard. I was not giving it my all, because I was, flipping things at the time on, Craigslist or buying and selling things online at the time where I wasn't very motivated. But I still, my very last month, just to prove a point, finished number one in the number one sales store in Arizona. The entire state. In terms of population, Arizona is number 12, I believe, or 11 out of all 50 states in the U.S. And it was the number one store, and then I was number one in the entire state, basically. And I went on and I did several other corporate sales, I did nonprofit sales, all kinds of different sales things. And when I went to every one of these sales jobs, all of my managers, every single time, were like, you need to be more pushy. You need to be more pushy. And they always wanted me to push. But even though, baby Luke, or, younger Luke at the time, was not, say Luke, traveling around the world, filming these international documentaries, writing, international books, right, and trading cryptocurrency for a living, and carrying millions of dollars into diseases. He still understood a philosophy that I want to share with you. And my point was not to brag. My point was to make a point that all of us can apply this philosophy to our life. It doesn't matter where you're at. And this is wisdom. And I'm not religious. I don't have anything against you religious people, but what I'm saying is I agree with the Christian Bible or the biblical text that just about every other world religion agrees with, which is wisdom. Wisdom is so much more powerful than knowledge. And through wisdom, some of the most powerful or deep wisdom you can study understands this one thing: allowing and receiving. And any highly successful person allows and receives. There was this quote, beggars can't be choosers. Well, you decide if you're going to be choosing or if you're going to be begging. And whatever energy you put out, it's going to come back to you. Period. It's how all of life and all of us are spiritually programmed, our energy. And the more you push, the more you're going to push people away. And you may get so good at being a sleazy snake salesman or a malicious snake salesman or a shady snake salesman, so good at pushing and trying to force, that it might actually work for maybe 2 or 3 out of 10 people that you do a sales pitch for. It might actually work. But those other 7 or 8 people are going to walk away and you're going to push them away. And 1 or 2 out of those 3 people are going to come back to you in a couple days or a week and return everything that you pushed upon them. And those are just facts. And I haven't done an actual study, but from, hands-on experience, my own personal numbers and just witnessing, that's how it goes. And a lot of those snake salesmen and pushy salesmen, they say, whoa, well, that's just how it goes. Nobody closes 9 out of 10 sales. I can tell you how. I'll tell you how to close 10 out of 10 sales. The first point and the first tip that you have to understand is you need to understand. There's two vibrations in this world. There's fear and there's love. Fear comes from mental ignorance. They don't understand, just like Albert Einstein said. Any fool can know. There's 99% of society, or I don't know, I think it's more safe to say 75% of the world, humanity, just knows. Knows what they heard on the propaganda television. Know what they heard from some random person on the street. But like Albert Einstein says, oh, any fool can know, a wise man understands. And one of the only two vibrations in all of life is understanding, which is love, and mental ignorance, which creates doubts, worries, fear. So why you don't hope or wish. There is no hope or wishing when you understand. When you're just repeating what your pastor told you or repeating what you heard on the propaganda television, by Jolly G, you're going to be crossing your hands and praying and doing a lot of hoping. But, you know, the difference between an amateur investor or an amateur trader, because trust me, there's people that make millions and billions off of trading and investments. There's no hoping or wishing. There's no hoping or wishing. They understand how the stock markets work. They understand how Bitcoin and cryptocurrency moves and the patterns and what to look for, what's happening, where when they invest $1 million, they're not just praying to some god they've never even met or seen, that their $1 million is just going to disappear. And trust me, it's not all about the money. There's people that are just as powerful, than financial billionaires that, trust me, understand a lot of things outside of money, that things as in what's really going on with religion and the subconscious mind. What's really going on in the world right now, right? When we can preach about it all day long, and thankfully we have more people waking up than ever before. So if you want to start off your sales, the first tip is to understand the person you're selling to. Nobody's ever going to tell you no as a salesperson if you actually understand what they really need, and then you tell them, you actually ask them questions. What are you looking for in a car? What do you want in your car? And don't just listen to where you hear, okay, I want a sports car. I want something that's fast. I want something with good gas miles. That's not deep enough. Patience is a deep understanding. And a lot of salespeople, why they get rejected when they kind of get halfway, maybe they kind of get a little bit through the door. It's like you met this guy or this girl and you're just clicking it off and you're like, wow, I'm going to get their number, and then you get their number and you feel so good. You tell your best friend, I just met this amazing guy or girl, and then you go to text message them and they don't respond. It's the same psychology with sales, right? You meet your client or a potential prospect and you actually understand them. You're asking them questions, right? What are you looking for in a car? Okay, you want a sports car. You want good gas miles. Well, you gotta go deeper. If you want to go past just getting their number, the number of your prospect, or just getting them through the door of wherever you're selling, the gym maybe, or wherever, cell phone store, you gotta dive deeper. You gotta say, okay, well, why do you want a sports car? And some people say, well, that's just strange. I don't want to get personal with some guy or girl I just met. It's not strange. Psychology 101, people love to talk about themselves. They will tell you why they want to buy a sports car, and they'll even give you their grandma's name and their grandpa's name and where they went to elementary school, because people just love to talk about themselves. And if you want to increase your sales, you get people talking. I don't know if it's number one, but one of the top 3 sales books or self-improvement books in the world, How to Win and Influence People. I had a friend that's like a little brother out here, Fausto, that recommended that book to me, and he was like, have you read it? And I was like, yeah, I've read that, and just about, by Jolly G, I don't even know how many self-help books now. Publishing my own self-help books. But that's the core foundation. My point is, the reason he brought that up first, that's the key point. Influence people. You better start getting them talking. And if you want to increase your sales or close 10 out of 10 sales deals, you got to dive deeper. If you want to just stop getting girls or guys' numbers or their Facebook or whatever, or Instagram, and then they just don't message you after that, even though you felt this click. You gotta dive deeper, right? You gotta dive a little deeper. You gotta ask them, not just, hey, so do you come to this gym a lot? Kind of talk to them a little bit, right? What do you do for work? You gotta go deeper. You gotta influence people more. People already have best friends. People already have brothers and sisters, right? Brothers from other mothers, sisters from other mothers. People already have all of that. If you want to get in there and dive deep you gotta dive deep. You gotta become their best friend. You gotta become their brother from another mother. You gotta become their sister from another mother. If you want to close 10 out of 10 sales deals, what do most adults that have a little bit of common sense? Common sense is not that common anymore. What do? They go to a friend or a family member for a recommendation. So if you're a salesman that's pitching out the cold, you already have a disadvantage. And this is why snake salesmen are only going to get 2 out of 3 out of 10. And they may get so good at playing games they close more, but they're never going to reach their full potential. And all those clients that come back, they don't mention those in their big sales promotions or big sales, right, trophies. You got to dive deeper. You got to understand why they want a fast car or whatever, why they want a fast cell phone. Don't just know they want a fast cell phone. That's not understanding. You got to dive deeper to where you understand them on a personal level. Why they want a fast cell phone, fast car, whatever you're selling them, you got to understand all of it. Because the more you understand, the more you can help them or sell them. And that leads me to my other point. You're not in it for the money. If you're in it for the money, people can feel that. People are not stupid. If you make it past the age of, 18, 21, even 21, you're still right. Most people, on the inside are pretty young still. I mean, I'm not saying everyone. There's still some old souls out there that are in their 20s I've met. But usually, right? You're still not a fool. By the time you're 21, you can feel someone's intention good enough, or a salesperson's intention good enough. I was doing secret shopping. One of my 30 jobs that I mastered to get to where I'm at now was secret shopping. And I wasn't buying anything, not even a penny's worth. That was not my intention. My intention was to go ask them the questions for the secret shop, and then fill out my survey, and then get paid for the time the secret shop I did. But there was like 2 or 3 sales. Some of these kids were good. Like at the time, baby Luke was like moved, like he liked them. Now, there was a little bromance going on between baby Luke or younger Luke at the time and these sales guys. Where he was like, I want to actually go back when I have the money and buy that $400 speaker because I really, really, really like that guy. So you don't just understand the person you're selling to. You got to really want to help them, because when you want to help somebody, they're going to let you understand them. Not only that, you're going to be able to offer them more help. And your sales are going to go up. And your thoughts and your words are what could dictate the vibration and emotion you're in. Don't ever let a fool tell you otherwise. It's how we're programmed. That's how we're curing millions of dollars in diseases. Don't just let some Abraham Hicks sit on a stage who hasn't done anything, statistically speaking, right? Because any fool can talk. Anybody can talk. Anybody can talk. I can teach my dog how to talk a little bit, even. But judge a tree by the spiritual fruits that it bears, not the words that's coming out of its mouth. Anyways, I stepped off of my pedestal rant. Okay, I'm back on the ground, back in my chair. Your words and your thoughts create a vibration that's going to be felt by people's intuition. Your intent cannot be covered up. People might get good at covering it up, but in the end, you're going to be exposed if you're covering or being shady. So you need to think and focus. Your focus creates your reality. As a salesperson, you need to focus on how many people you can help, genuinely help, and life will take care of you tenfold. Tenfold. Don't be a foolish salesperson. You're not going to go far. You're going to make minimum wage, if even that, in your country, and you're going to be miserable. You're going to be miserable. If you want to be fulfilled on the inside, start helping people. Focus and create a reality that's based on helping people, and life will take care of you tenfold. You'll be able to buy whatever car that you like. whatever hobby or talent you're working on the side, you're going to be able to start growing it tenfold. Start understanding your clients to where you actually appreciate them and kind of like something about them. And have something in common. Like, hey, this guy likes the Jets. I like the New York Jets. I like, Barcelona or whatever. I don't know what the sports teams are nowadays. I don't watch sports anymore. But you get my point. This is how you can tenfold times 100 your sales in a year. The sky's the limit. And then when you get to the point where you have religiously applied these life-changing points to your life, the third and the last bonus tip is start listening to subliminals. Well, what subliminals do I listen to? I mean, I'm already focusing on helping people, say, Luke. I'm already focusing on understanding people. People are responding like crazy now. I'm actually meeting friends that are like family to me now through my sales prospects. It's crazy, say, Luke. I mean, I want to go a step further. What do I do? What you do is you listen to subliminals, and you listen to subliminals. There's 3 you want to focus on. Be more charismatic. Baby Luke got jobs just based off of how he smiled and talked to people when his managers watched him. And I still listen to this day, believe it or not, I will never say that, oh, I am maxed out level in charisma, I am maxed out level in confidence. It's not there. There's infinite growth that's locked up inside of all of us. We can live forever, and we can still go beyond that in health. You get my point? So, more charismatic, more confident, and better at public speaking. You want to listen to those 3 subliminals after you've already focused on understanding and helping people, and your sales will boom. They won't even know what to do with you. Your sales manager, when you apply all 3 of these psychologies and mindsets, you're not only going to change as a person to where your coworkers don't even recognize you or your manager, but when they look at your sales sheet, a month or 2, 3 months later, they're going to be like, whoa, do we have a district manager position open? I love all of you. This is how you 10 times your sales, 100 times your sales. With subliminals, there's no limit.